Okay guys, we're going to be doing some chest workout. It's the first time I'm streaming since the last time. Last time we did bicep when I was streaming, so we're going to do some chest workout. But we're only going to use resistance band. And I have my exercise ball here. So let's think about it this way. We don't have a bench. So we're going to use the exercise ball. And it's pretty good to have one of these in your house. These could be very useful, especially if you don't have a bench to use. And what I like about using the exercise ball, because the ball is soft, when you lie in the ball to do your chest exercises, it actually cushions the rear delts, that area that you might overstretch when you're actually doing your presses. It actually cushions it, so it has some kind of protection there too. But we're gonna start off with push-ups. I gotta wrap my wrist first before I do that. Yeah, so we're gonna do push-ups, but except I'm not gonna use the palm of my hands, I'm gonna use my fist, because this problem is becoming a real pain in the ass. This problem here, that's actually happening with my wrist. It's actually really bothering me a lot, so we're gonna do push-ups, but except I'm gonna use my fist instead of my palm of my hands, because when I use the palm of my hands and I bend my hands flat, I start to feel a lot of tension in this corner of my wrist, and it's really, maybe it's making situations worse, I don't know, but we're gonna just use that. So I'm gonna push away the ball for now, and hope you guys can see me from there. Like, it's kind of awkward position I'm in. I'm gonna push this up a little bit more, and I'm gonna probably go this way, so you might be able to see my whole body sit on the frame. So we're gonna use the band. So you grab the band like this, and you put it around your back. So this is what you're gonna have. And I'm gonna use my fist, as I said, to do the push-ups. Something like this. You can use the palm of your hands if you want. But if you're using resistance band and you need more resistance, well, actually, if you're just doing push-ups, you don't have any equipment at home, it's just push-ups you're doing. But you can invest into a resistance band, and this is how you can use it to have more, basically be able to get more resistance when you're doing your push-ups. So you just put your fist to the ground. I hope the band doesn't slide off my shoulders, because when I elevate my fist like that, my fist elevates everything, makes my arms actually longer. If I put my hands flat, it's actually short. So sometimes the band has a tendency to slide over your shoulders. So let's see if I can get it done. I may not go all the way down because of the bend. So I have my fist like this. Yeah. So with using the resistance band, it actually becomes more difficult to do your push-ups. But if you go freestyle, yes, it might be difficult for some people depending on the individual, but you can still get your chest done, right? It's not impossible. Or if you want to go old school, you don't have the bands, grab your backpack, put a couple of books inside, strap that backpack on, and do your push-ups. That's old school style, right? Or if that's not good enough for you, if you're outside, say for example you're down by the beach somewhere, grab a plastic bag, throw some sand inside of that plastic bag, throw it into the backpack, put it in your back. You could do your push-ups, you could do your squats, you could do everything. You just added some weights to your body there, right there from with the backpack and the plastic bag. You just put everything in there and you can get it done like that. I have some videos of myself in Japan at Nobi Beach, where I was actually doing that sort of stuff. Where I bought a military bag and I went down to by the seashore and I actually did my workout like that. No equipment, I just create the equipment. They have some rocks floating around the seashore there. I just pick them up, throw it in the backpack, and I worked out with it. I even have, actually I'm gonna upload a video of on my TikTok account here, and also on YouTube. I still have a video sitting in my file of me with a log in my shoulders doing some squats and lunges, right? So all that stuff you can do. Exercises is not about, oh, I have to go to the gym, but I don't have enough money to go to the gym. I don't have enough cash to buy a gym membership. That's just an excuse, right? You got the cash to do many other things, but to fix your body, maybe you don't, right? That's what you're saying. But bands are cheap. Yes, they break, but nothing lasts forever. So while they last, you can use them. Another set. So, and if you have enough bands, like I have the red, I have the black, I have the green, they're different levels. You can start off with just your body weight doing the push-ups first, and then you can keep increasing the bands, the levels of bands, as if you're piling on plates on top of a bar at a gym, doing your bench press. And you can do the same way with the bands. Same way as incline presses and decline. Also flat chest presses or seated chest presses. You can do all of those. I'm going to go through with you guys in the next few minutes. But you can do it like that. And I'm going to try the black bands now. This is more resistance. So I may get less reps, which is fine because I'm looking for a bit more resistance, right? So if your bands are in good condition, well actually, I'm going to show you guys a band later that the red band you see me always using, doing what you might call it, chest presses when I'm sitting on the bench doing the chest presses with the bands that's attached to the base. One of those bands is broken. And I catched it, I was about to do an exercise with some pull-ups, behind the neck pull-ups. I needed 2 bands. And I looked at the band and I'm pulling the band to do the pull-ups. And I says, what the heck is that? I saw this big ass rip on the band. If I got up, I'd probably go flying. Well, actually I won't go flying. It was just breaking me. And I might have maybe injured my shoulders or something, because if the band breaks when you're doing that exercise, you're going to have a sudden drop to one side. And that probably would have happened, might have jerked my shoulders a bit. But I'll show you the band later. But the thing is that I check that band all the time. I never saw that rip in the band. I didn't see it until yesterday, 2 days ago I saw it. So you have to check the bands. Not just once, you gotta keep going over and over again to make sure there's nothing on it that's waiting for you. So here we go, the next set. These ones might be a little bit harder. Yeah, it was harder, right? I'm a little too hot here. Actually, I just came back from outside, actually. Today's my day off, but I had to go outside to do some stuff. And I came and I said, let me get a little workout. Okay, so let's move along here. So we did 3 sets of the push-ups. Now, this is why I have the exercise ball. You don't have, like I was saying before, you don't have a bench. So you can use the ball to get your other exercises done. So, am I in front of the camera or away from the camera? Which one? I think I pushed it too far over. So you need to get your incline presses done. So you put the ball, make sure the ball is against the wall. If you can't get it against the wall, you're gonna have to try to balance it. And you take the band, you put it around your back like that. And you're on the ball, but go down to the floor like this with the ball. And now you have an incline chest press position that you need, and you press up. Oops, okay, the band is actually in the wrong position. Okay, I got it. And you can see I get a lot of reps out of it, right? But if you don't want to do so many reps, you can either just put the band around your fingers like this, or just put a knot to the center of the band. And you should be able to lower the reps, but you get more resistance. So it becomes as if you're lifting much more heavier resistance there. But that's what you can do, or just get if you have a better band, a band that's actually higher in resistance, you can go with that. Because like I said before, you can keep, because you might have the different levels of bands, you can keep going up. Instead of putting a knot on the band, or wrapping it around your hands, like you can make a decision, but some people may just only have one band. So if it's one band you have, then I would advise you to put a knot to the center of the band, to the back of the band, like this. You put a knot somewhere about there, to the middle of the band, and just like this. This makes the band shorter, but it creates more resistance at the same time. And just try to get it to the center. And just, you gotta remember this. This little part here is gonna be rested against your back. So it might feel a little uncomfortable. But because I'm using the ball, which in the ball is soft, when I lie against it, that part is gonna go into the ball. So that way I won't feel it that much. But if I was using my bench, If the bench, the padding on the bench is a little too hard, you might feel that into your middle of your back, on your spine there. Depends on where the knot is positioned. So now, this is more resistance for me. Yeah, it's a lot of resistance actually. I couldn't even make it. I was trying to see if I can go back to 20. I probably could, but it would just be like really pushing myself, and I have more reps to do. Even this band I'm using too, this black band, there is some issues with it, because when I rub my fingers along it, I could feel it. These bands are the ones that I had sitting around in Japan for quite a while. Like when I travel back to Canada, they will be in Japan and not being used. So I brought them back with me because I was worried that when I make my trip back, I know I wasn't traveling this year. So I was worried with that entire year that the bands can go broken. But one of them already went broken, the one of them that I brought back. So these black ones are the same. There's some issues with them too. So I'm going to use it until it breaks. I'm just hoping it doesn't break when I'm actually doing my live. You guys are probably like that, but I wouldn't. So I'm gonna order some new bands so that I can not have to worry about those things. So these are the large, this is actually this is the red band I was talking about, but this is the better one. This one is okay, but the other one is broken. That's the one I will show you guys later where it's broken. So this band, the problem was with this band, this was as long, there's two of them. One is longer than the other. This one is slightly longer. This is the one that's okay. It's a good band to use, but the resistance, it's not happening because the band is too long. So what I would do, I will put a knot to the center of the band. And this will help me. And again, guys, when you put the knot in these bands, sometimes they're not so easy to take apart after. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. It depends on the exercise that you're doing, because if you're doing an exercise that you're really pulling a lot and where you're using a lot of resistance, that band, the knot will become tighter. And it will be a pain to get it out. Okay, so here we go for the next set. Yeah, so the resistance is a lot more. So the skinnier bands that I'm using, the resistance is less, but they stretch more. When you start using them, you'll find that you can get more stretch out of those bands. But the larger ones, because the resistance is much more harder, it will be less. And the skinny ones are easier to break. So you cannot overstretch them, right? It's just like an elastic band. Like it depends on the quality of the band, it will break faster. But these bands, I'm still trying to figure out what happened to the other band, why it actually has that rip in it. The rip that it has, it seems like something touched it. And I don't know what touched it. Like I think back, the only thing I can think about is probably, it could be the thread from the clamp. Maybe I'm thinking, is a thread from the clamp touched it and I didn't notice that? but the rip looks like something actually cut it. So those were your incline chest presses. So we're gonna do flat chest presses. It's the same way on top of the ball, but except, and actually, guys, if you're using the ball like this on the floor, try to put it on a mat, because if you put it on a yoga mat, it actually has better grip. But if you put it directly on the hardwood floor, then you might find yourself moving around too much. So for flat chest presses, I cannot turn straight away like that because I want you guys to see me from the side view, at least for the first set. So this is kind of weird angle to work in. So you come forward like this, and then you roll back. You roll back. And actually, no, this is decline. You roll back. But when you roll back, you have to go back as far back as possible. You don't keep your head up like this. For flat chest presses, you lie flat like this, and you're pushing this way. But for decline, because this part of the chest, you want this part to go down. So you drop your head with it too. And when you drop your head, your chest goes downwards. It's not staying up in the same position because you're doing the decline movement. If you can bridge more, depends on the individual how flexible you are for bridging. You can probably go even more deep. But for myself, this is my flexibility right here. And this is where I'm going to go. And you can do your decline. You get your decline done, right? That's where you're gonna do it. And for your flat chest presses, which is bench press, from this position, decline is down here. And this is flat chest, and not a decline, incline is the other way I showed you guys before. But decline is in this position. You gotta drop your head to get the chest down in the position. And this is flat. This is incline. You guys can still see me there. This is incline. So that's how you do it with a ball. Don't be afraid to drop your head back, guys. As long as your legs are in place, you'll be okay. That's why I said that you should put the ball on a mat. Oh. So there's so many exercises I can show you guys what to do with the exercise ball. So many exercises. Exercises are just limited. I mean, like you can even do hack squat with it too. Many things you can do. So sometimes you see these balls sitting down in the store, they're in the box, and you're just thinking, hey, that's. Some guys will say, oh, that's just for girls. No, it's not. It can be used by everyone. Exercise ball is very useful. If you're working out from at home and you don't have a bench, you can use that. If you're working out at home and you don't have the right equipment to do your legs, you can use this, right? You can use that ball, put it on the wall, and just do the exercise off the wall, right? Like if you have trouble with squats and balancing with squats, the balance is not correct, put the ball on the wall and use the ball. It will help you keeping your spine in a straight line that you're supposed to, and not leaning forward too much doing the exercises. So usually when you buy these balls, they might be what do you call it? There might be a booklet inside it showing you the exercises, or just go on YouTube, you'll find the exercises. A lot of the exercises are recommended by chiropractors or sports doctors. They will recommend you what exercises for using with the ball. Okay, let's get another set. So keeping the knot in the bend is helping me, right? Because it creates the resistance that I need. And it depends on the level of the bend. You can test it to see how much poundage you might be lifting. Those were 30 pounds, those particular bends. This one you're looking at about, but with a knot it's probably more. I don't know exactly how much more. These ones there are, let's say 35 to 55 pounds of resistance, the red ones. But I don't feel so because the band is a little bit longer, so I think it's actually less resistance. You have to really have a tighter, like I may have to double the knot twice to probably hit that kind of resistance. But if you're lifting all the time and you're using a lot of bands, you might be able to tell what you're actually holding in your hands. So this is how I have it. So I'm gonna do one last set. Yeah, because now I have the band around my bicep. So this is gonna create a lot more resistance for the final set. But it feels uncomfortable because it's on my skin. Okay, so we finished our pressing movements. It's all done. So we have another pressing exercise we're gonna do. So you need your chair for this one. These are exercises that I showed you guys before, but except I was using the base. I connect the bands, that's when I connect the band and the base, and I was like doing the seated chest presses, pushing forward like that. So I use the base for that. I don't need the ball anymore. Actually, I'm going to show you guys something else with the ball, so I'll keep it here. I'll show you guys an exercise with the ball. So I got my chair over here. And I need my cushion. It says hello. Sitting to the back of the chair like that because I need my body to be a little bit outwards. I don't have the right block, but I could use my cushion for it, so that's fine. So let's use the black bend. So seated chest presses. Before I had, a few months back, I actually had the bands hooked up to the base on each side, and I was pushing the bands this way for seated chest presses. That's what I was doing. This is the exact same thing, except you don't need that base. So I'm showing you guys all of this because I know many of you, most people don't have, the majority of you don't have a base made up to do the exercises on. So I'm showing you everything that I have done. And so for all the exercises. So I just have a knot on my band again here, like most of the time I do. Put the band around your back like this. You're in this position. And you're just pushing, you're just pressing straight ahead. And the reason why that cushion is behind me there, because I want my elbows to go back a little bit. I don't want my elbows to just come just to this position. I want it to go back to get a stretch. And you're pushing ahead. And you squeeze in the chest as you come forward. And you're pressing the head and you're squeezing on your pecs when you come forward. So those are seated chest presses. Exactly the same thing I've done using the two bands hook up to the base, and I'm pushing the band separately. It's the same thing, but except you're just using your resistance band and sitting on the chair. I have also done this standing up flat against the wall, but the problem is you need some kind of block behind your back, along with the middle of your back, because when you do it on the wall, when you come back down, you don't get a stretch because your arms is flush against the wall. There's no stretch going on here. To work the chest, you should have a stretch when you're coming downwards. It's not just here and go back. You have to have that stretch. And when you do it standing up against the wall, you don't get the stretch at all. But actually, if you have the exercise ball, if you can hold the ball against your back and stand up, you can actually get it done like that too. If you're that good, right? To hold that ball against the wall on your back, you can actually then do it in that way. But that's a little difficult. So use the chair and put a pillow or something behind it and keep your back a little bit forward and you can stretch. So simple. My phone, it keeps ringing all the time on me there. Okay, here we go. Ooh. So we go for the red guys here. So when you're training with bands, guys, it's the same way as how if you're training with weights. You can work with the same sets and repetition that you do. It depends how you feel. You can do the same sets and repetition. It's not because I'm using band, I have to do like this. No. Same sets and reps, just bands. if you want to be a bodybuilder, I suggest you go into a gym, start working out, start picking up real hard. If you just want to stay in shape and like that, bands are good. If you don't want to have big bulging muscles and look like you can't even move and walk around like this, then you can use the bands. My phone is going off like crazy. Okay. Yeah, these are much harder to push. So after these, we're gonna do one more exercise. See the chest flies. You can do it. We can do it on the ball too, even. So we'll figure it out. Okay. So the reason why I said again, guys, that you should wear a long sleeve shirt, because you should see the marks on the side of my arms right now from this. The bands get along the arms, and it's just like you can, I don't know if you could see, I don't think you guys can see it, but there's a nice long mark going along my arms here right now. But the bands get in there, and if you have an allergic reaction towards this kind of rubber, then it might be an issue. So you have to make sure that you wear a long sleeve shirt. I'm just an old guy, so I don't have to worry with marks on my skin. But you young people out there, you might be worried about marks on your skin, so this is the end of my skin. It's reaching its final days, you know what I mean? So we'll go for the green band. And I want to show you guys the seated chest flies. So you need the same setup. You need to have this there. The cushion, you need the cushion because you need to keep your back in a certain position to get the stretch. So you have your arm, and you see how many parts of my hands the band is touching. So that's why I said long sleeve shirt. So you keep your arms like this, and you come forward. And when you come forward, you turn. You turn your wrist inwards like that to get a. That actually helped the lower chest to contract better. It's the same as when you have the dumbbell in your hands. It's the same way. So, and again, you only have one band. It's just pretending. You just have one band. And you can go like this. And you just create yourself a whole lot of resistance by just having the band like this. Because you made the band shorter and your resistance level will go up. So then I'm not going to use the other bands to demonstrate this. Then you can go like this. You can put your knot in the center of the band again. Yeah, this will create about the same resistance as when you wrap it around your wrist, right? Wrap it around your hands twice. But then this is what you're going to do again. You're going to wrap it around like this again. Let's see. It's not centered. Okay. And then do the other side the same way. And then you have like this. So more resistance. So when you bring your hand like this, you turn your wrist in like this, you're actually contracting the lower chest even more. It's the same as when you're doing your bicep curls with the bands like this. You turn that wrist in this way. That's how you get a slice in the bicep. You come up like this and you turn this way as you're coming up. Right? It's the same thing as when you're doing your flies, the same way. You turn the wrist this way and you get that nice striations going on in the lower chest. You can contract and that will develop in the lower chest. Ah! Whoa. So that's what you do. See, these are easy to come apart because the band is not, I'm not pulling on something that will make it much tighter because the resistance I'm using is not so much for the chest. But if you're using like doing rows or something with those bands and they have the nut, the band is going to get much tighter and getting it loose is going to be a big nightmare for you. Trying to get them loose. So I'm going to show you guys Wow, there's a raccoon outside at this time of day. Look at the size of that thing. It's huge. So, I was mentioning to you guys before you can do squats. You can do lunges using the ball, right? This ball is actually, it's a smaller one. It's not the same size. I have one that's actually much bigger. It's in the box. So you take the ball, you put on the wall like this. You find the spot and you try to make sure you stand on some kind of mat or something. And make sure the surface is good, that it doesn't slide. So, is this gonna slide when So for hack squat, I wish you guys could see this all from a side view. But you can probably see that my body is actually in that angle. For hack squat, you need to be in this position for your hack squat. And I'm just hoping my mat is like, this doesn't move. And so you don't have a hack squat machine. This is what you can do. That's what you can do for your hack squat. Because as long as your body's in that angle, this is the angle that you need. And you can squat down into it. But make sure the mat doesn't move. So maybe you may want to put your shoes on. I have my socks on and I'm on the mat, right? So for me, maybe it's okay for me, right? And for squats, so you got your position, your stance that you need. So you cannot balance properly. Maybe you have some trouble with your lower back and you can't balance properly. You don't have the resistance bands like I do hanging over my head for balance, right? So once you got your feet in the right position, squat down. That's how you can use the ball. You can do your squats like that. So the ball is helping you to balance because it's rolling off the wall and you're in the right position. It goes in the same angle as your lower back to the top of your upper back, and you just squat in there. And you can go deep as you want to go, right? And you can go back up, right? That's how you can use the exercise ball. For lunges, you just put the one leg back and just the same thing. Lunge in position that you need to be in. The other legs like that, and the same thing. And the ball is helping you, is guiding you, it's protecting what it has to protect, and you're going down. And you can get your lunges done. All that you can do with the ball, like it's the same as doing this. It's the same as doing this. Squatting down, up. But except you have the ball protecting your back. And your lunges, same, right? So you can use the ball. It's very good and it's very useful for those kind of exercises. And put some hair into your ball, guys. This feels like it's not having enough hair inside. So soft. So guys, that was my chest workout and a couple of tips about having an exercise ball around that can help you with your squats. So if you have this ball, you can throw it on the wall like that, and you can, let's see how many reps I can get done. If you're just into like body weight exercises, you can just put the ball on the wall and you just go like that. See how many reps you can do with your squats, and just keep going. So if you're into body weight stuff, just get a ball and you can do your squats like that. And if I keep going, I'll probably start crying. It's actually burning like hell. So you get to about 40 reps and you start to feel the burning. You get to 50 and you start to feel more. The goal is 100. You try to get there, you're gonna be crying probably because the pain is so crazy. Wow. So I want to show you guys what I was talking about the band. This is the other red one. And actually this was the one that I hardly used. So I felt, let's see if I could find, yeah, let's try my hands in it. I felt like the band got cut probably on something that I used and I didn't notice it. But this rip is so big is that I could have actually had an accident if I never noticed it. It's a little too big, so it's actually, maybe it's stretched over the time. Can you guys see it? YouTube. That's a pretty big rip. So if you don't check your band, actually it looks like a cut. So I think it got cut on something. If you don't check the band all the time, this rip could be very small. And every time you use it, it just gets wider and wider. And it's actually ripping still, right? You can't see it, but it's ripping slowly. And the more you stretch it, it's gonna keep getting, the rip is gonna get wider. And eventually one day, it doesn't have to be halfway down the band. It could just be somewhere like a little bit more down on the band, and then it will snap in you. And you better pray that you're not doing something that you're gonna get yourself hurt, right? Resistance bands are good to use. I'm not gonna say they're bad, they're good to use, but you gotta keep your eyes on them. And you have to store them in the correct places. You don't put them in the correct places, then this might happen. And again, guys, like I said to you, the only way I think this band got ripped is probably when I had it connected to the clamps, and the thread on the clamp must have touched it, and I never noticed. And I'm trying to think back when was the last time I used the bands against the thread. And I don't even remember because I've been using them so many times. And I haven't really used them on the bass in a while. So it's probably the last time I used it on the bass. That's when it happened. And since that time, I've just been using the other red band, not this one. Actually, I used it when I did the pull-ups about 3 weeks ago. So this rip was probably already there and I didn't even notice it. But the other day I catched it. So that's it. So when the flat bands here rip, it's mostly from the sides you see it. And it's rarely that they will rip through the center here. If it starts ripping through the center, that's even more scarier because that's the hardest one to see. It's through the center. So you have to the center, you have to stretch it this way all the time. Like you go around the band like this on both sides, just step by step, and you check it, then you know it's okay. So I have to replace them. I think I'm gonna replace all of them. All the ones that I brought back from Japan, I'm gonna replace them because every year I go to Japan, I leave them there, and for half a year, 8 months, 9 months, they don't be used. So probably that's why the rip got in it so easily. So guys, that's it. That's some tips about the bands. And remember, if you have the bands too, don't store them in warm places. Try to keep it in a cool place. And that way, you don't have to worry about the warm melting the bands slowly. So you try to keep it in cool places. Those are the things I learned about from over the years of having bands, how to store them and this sort of thing. Before I didn't know that. So I learn as I go along, and I will tell you guys experiencing. But you guys have never seen a band snapped in me. And I hope you never have to see that. So I hope it never happened to you either. Okay, guys, that's it. Thank you for joining my live. And if you want to see the full stream, please go to my YouTube channel. And always remember, safety is first. The equipment at the gym, if the owners don't check their equipment, also they could be dangerous. So it doesn't matter what you use. They go to the gym, use the bands. They're all part of the equipment. You just gotta make sure you take care of it. And you will get your results. Treat the bands right and they will treat you right. Okay, YouTube, thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you for your... I thought I saw a question. Hey bro, where are you? Oh, I'm from Canada. This is where I live in Canada. I was born in Guyana, South America. But I live in Canada. And sometimes I'm not in Canada, sometimes I'm in Japan, sometimes I'm in Cambodia. Those are the places I often go to. Japan, my family's there. And in Cambodia, I do some what you might call it, sponsorship for young children for education in Cambodia. That's what I do there. So I go back and forth between there to Canada like all the time, every year. But this year I'm not traveling because I need to pay up my bills. I live on credit when I travel. So I need to pay them up before I travel again. Okay, guys, that's it. And YouTube, have a good evening, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. TikTok, thank you guys for your support.